Hello everyone, my name is Selçuk Kılıçarslan and this is my presentation on the statistical trends in aesthetic surgery among women. This project was done as part of our Statistics in Engineering course. Over the last decade, the global demand for aesthetic procedures has steadily increased, particularly among women. In the study, I aim to investigate whether procedure counts increase with age and how this trend has evolved from 2010 to 2022. The data was collected from ISAPS, an international organization that reports on global cosmetic surgery trends. I studied 4 age groups across 5 years, 2010 to 2022. The key variable is the total number of procedures, including both surgical and non-surgical treatments like Botox. When we look at the average number of procedures, we can see that the highest values occur in the 40 to 49 age group, followed by 30 to 39. The numbers drop slightly for the 50-59 group, while the youngest group, 18 to 29, had the lowest demand overall. These visuals help us understand the distribution and growth of procedures. The histogram shows the frequency of totals, the box plot compares the spread across age groups, and the line plot clearly shows an upward trend from 2010 to 2022. First, we have a histogram that shows the distribution of total procedures across all age groups and years. Each bar represents how many times a certain procedure count range occurred. This helps us see whether the data clusters around a central value or is more spread out. In this case, most of the values are concentrated in the middle to high range, which supports the idea of consistent upward trend over time. And next, the box plot compares the spread and variation in procedure counts between age groups. It shows the median, the interquartile range, and any outliers. The range 40 to 49 has the highest median and the narrowest spread, suggesting stable and high demand. The 18 to 29 and 50 to 59 groups have more variation, which means showing less consistent demand over the years. The line plot illustrates the trend over time from 2010 to 2022. Each line represents one age group and shows how procedure counts have changed across the 5 time points. As you can see, all age groups show an upward trend, especially between 2010 and 2018. This confirms that aesthetic procedures are becoming more common over time, regardless of age group. Before running statistical tests, I checked whether the data is normally distributed. I used the Shapiro-Wilk and Kolmogorov-Smirnov tests, and both confirmed normality. This allowed me to apply parametric methods confidently. This is a QQ plot, which helps us visually access whether the data follows a normal distribution. In this plot, each point compares the quantile of the actual data to the expected quantile under a perfect normal distribution. If the data is normally distributed, the points will lie roughly along the diagonal line. As we can see here, the points align closely with the line, which supports the results of the Shapiro-Wilk and Kolmogorov-Smirnov tests. This means our assumption of normality is reasonable and parametric tests like ANOVA and regression are appropriate. I calculated 95% confidence intervals using the t-distribution. For example, in the 40 to 49 group, the true average likely falls between 5.17 and 6.14 million. Because the sample size is small, which is only 5 years, the margin of error will be wider. I compared 2010 and 2022 values in the 30 to 39 group using a z-test. The result was statistically insignificant, meaning the increase in procedures is not due to chance. This supports the idea of rising demand over time. To compare all 4 age groups, I used one-way ANOVA. The test showed a significant difference between groups. Post-hoc analysis with 2-case test confirmed that the 40 to 49 group is statistically different from others, especially 18 to 29 and 50 to 59. I also used Pearson correlation and linear regression. The correlation was very strong, around 0.87, showing that as age increases, procedure counts also increase. The regression model suggests around 850,000 additional procedures for each age level. This scatter plot shows the relationship between age group and total number of aesthetic procedures. Each point represents one data value for a specific year and age group. As we move on from younger to older age groups, the total number of procedures clearly increases. To validate the results, I applied non-parametric tests. The Kruskal-Wallis test and Spearman's correlation confirmed the earlier findings. This increases the reliability of conclusions. Based on all analysis, the 30 to 49 age range is the most active in aesthetic procedures. The growth trend is consistent and statistically validated. However, the small sample size and aggregate level data are limitations of the study. In conclusion, age is clearly linked to demand for aesthetic procedures. The number of procedures has steadily increased from 2010 to 2022. Future studies should use more detailed, individual level data for deeper insights. These are the references I used to support the data and methods throughout the project. The ISAPS Global Survey was the primary data source. This was my project. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for listening.